I know it's tradition for a few kids to stay the night after camp ends. Okay, I did it. But trust me, after you pack, go home.
Shelby!
We go in after. We can't just go out there.
I think we need to call the cops.
It's only us. We know your fear.
I'm not going to lie, that little last part with him, we know your fear, that's a little bit creepy, is it not? It's like crazy creepy. Okay, real quick, I want to, since this is the last week of Gripped, I want us to just practice one thing to get it out of our system. I want to hear everybody's, you are in the middle of the horror movie scream. Ready? One, they're coming after you. 2, 3. Okay, so Brandon, if you know anybody that needs some screamers. Okay, because he's an actor. I'm impressed because you don't know who he has actually, what'd you do, like danced or? He sang Baby Shark with Millie Bobby Brown. Who is Millie Bobby Brown? 11. So he got to sing Baby Shark with 11. That's really kind of funny. Okay, cool. Hey, but I sat in Boss Hogg's lap. Right. I really did. The real Boss Hogg. I have to tell you a story later. At least somebody knows. All right, guys. So tonight we're going to wrap up the Grip series, and we're going to talk about what perfect love is. So let me share a little statement with you here. It's this: perfect love casts out fear. Perfect love casts out fear. As a matter of fact, perfect love causes confidence. Everybody say confidence. Right. Has anybody ever lacked confidence? Yeah. Has anybody ever had confidence? I'm confident in what I'm doing until somebody said something to you that wasn't very nice. I have, yeah. Like I used to think I could dance. But then somebody told me I couldn't. And now, you know what you will never see Melanie do? Dance. Because I don't have any confidence. And it is all Pastor Joey's fault. No, I'm just kidding. It's really not. But perfect love casts out fear, and it creates confidence in us. So have you ever had a moment where you had confidence lost because of love? Tell me a little bit about it. Like where somebody did something to you or said something to you, or maybe something just happened in your life and you were like, well, I thought I was good at math till I made the F. Maybe I'm not anymore, right? Anybody got a story? This is show and tell time. That's not a confidence booster. Guys, let me tell you a funny story. So this guy named Kevin was in my class in high school, and he had this major crush on my friend Julie. And Julie had long, thick, blonde, beautiful hair. And so one day he was going to be real cute and flirt with her. And so he told her, your hair looks like hay. She was like, what? Hay is dry and it breaks and it makes people sneeze. What is wrong with you, Kevin? Right? And guess what? They never dated. So, moral of that story, be careful how you compliment people, right? But perfect love casts out all fear and it creates confidence in us, right? So let me share with you a story. When I've been a nurse for a couple of years, but I'm only 29. And so I was working as a nurse in an intensive care unit, and a girl worked there, and we'll call her, give me a girl name. Lily. I like Lily. I don't know who said Lily, but I like that. Write that on your name list. I like Lily. That's cute. And so, okay. Well, Lily, we'll call her, was a nurse there, and Lily was about that big. She was just tiny. Like you wanted to go, do you eat? Because she is the definition of skin and bones. It's an amazingly small human being. And so this amazingly small human being worked in an intensive care unit where, for those of you who don't know, if you're a nurse in an intensive care unit and you have people that are on life support, obviously they can't do anything for themselves. So if they need to turn, be bathed, be cleaned in any way, then you have to do all the turning. You are their muscle, right? And so what Lily would do was Lily would be like, she'd have a 300-pound patient, and she would say, I need help in here. I can't really do this. Can somebody turn them, and I'll just tuck the wedge behind them? And so because of that, and because Lily continued to try not to do any of the excessively hard work, for those of you that don't know, you may know a mean girl. So mean girls in high school, you know what they grow up to be? Mean women, who then further grow to be mean old women, right? And so we had some Karens, yes. You win tonight. Good job, Tanner. So we had some Karens that worked with us, and so they decided that because Lily didn't work hard enough in their eyes, that they would nickname Lily Dishwater because she was weak as dishwater. And so I know it really is, right? I will tell you, I was not the Karen who did that. And I'd be like, y'all, don't call Lily dishwater. Well, she don't do nothing, right? So I thought, how can I help Lily out? And so I decided that, because she really was, avoiding work. That wasn't a falsehood, just we didn't need to call her dishwater. So I decided that Lily would become my project, and she became my project. And every time it was time to turn a patient, and believe me, we had patients that ranged from 300 to 700 pounds. And when they can't move themselves at all, and you got to wipe that little hiney, it takes a little bit of manpower to make that happen, right? And so I would say, come on, Lily, it's time to turn so-and-so. And she'd go, oh, but I'm so weak. And I would say, no, you're not. You are strong. You just got to put your back into it. Stick a foot on the wall. Come on, use both your arms. You got this. And I became this major cheerleader for Lily. And next thing you know, Lily was turning 300-pound patients over. I mean, like the dadgum Incredible Hulk. I was so proud of her. And every time she would do it, I would run out and go, did y'all see what Lily just did? Lily just turned him all by herself, and I tucked the wedge. Look at that. Lily is strong. Show him your muscles, Lily. Show him your muscles. Now, I did that, and I really did act that stupid and over the top about it. Because, number one, it was ridiculous that anybody would call her that. Because did that do anything to her confidence? She already obviously didn't think she could do it. Or she was lazy. I'm going to assume she didn't think she could do it. I'm going to assume the best about her. I don't know. I'm not in her heart. But either way, she already had a confidence issue. And calling her names was not going to make it better. So what I did was stopped calling her names and started telling her who she really was. Right? And you see, that's what it comes down to, is that perfect love, when you love somebody perfectly, when you see in them who they really are, then that casts out the fear that forces them to step into who they are, and then they begin to grow in confidence. The next thing you know, Lily was one tough, tiny person, right? And it was amazing to watch her grow through that. So I want to pull up a scripture real quick out of John chapter 15, verse 13. It should come up in just a second, and it says this: greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends. That someone lay down his life for his friends. That's a really big statement, right? That's huge, right? Or how do we say it? That's huge. That's a really big statement. That was my best Donald Trump. I'm sorry. So that was huge. Okay, anyways, so this big statement, greater love has no one than this, that they would lay down their life for their friends. So let's play a little game. I want to play this. Guess who, or do you know who this is? I'm going to say a name. You tell me if you know who this is. Are you ready? Todd Beamer. Anybody know who Todd Beamer is? No. Huh? You think he's Todd Beamer? That's good. Yes. Very good. Very good historian. So Todd Beamer was one of the people on Flight 93 on 9/11/2001. And if y'all remember the history, remember the story, then it's really weird to talk to people that are almost adults who weren't alive when that happened, and I was alive when that happened. That's just a side note of how old that makes me feel, but I am only 29. So back to the story. So on 9/11, you had the planes that hit the Twin Towers, right? And those were coming down. And you had the plane that was hijacked and hit the Pentagon, right? So at this point, all the chaos that's happening, they're beginning to catch wind of it while they're on their hijacked flight. So Flight 93 had been hijacked. Up until that point, I can tell you historically, we were taught, it was an American-wide, nationwide, probably an international thing, but I can remember even as a child seeing on the news and hearing people talk about it, if you're ever on a plane that's hijacked, just do what they want you to do. Just go with the flow. Don't fight them. Don't go against it. Don't try to stop anything, because what they're going to do, they want something. They're not going to harm you. They're going to land the plane, hold you hostage for a while till they can get what they want or till you can be rescued. So that's kind of what you were taught to do. So that was the way that they responded in the other planes that ended up in the buildings. But so here's Flight 93, and they're getting phone calls from family members. Hey, look, planes are hitting buildings, and buildings are coming down. This hijacking's different than anything we've been taught before. And Todd Beamer was one of the people that was like that. And he hears about this. So he calls his wife up, and he's talking to her, telling her that he loves her. And they've got a plan, and they don't know if it's going to work or not, but just know that I love you in case it doesn't. And then the last thing you hear him say is, let's roll. And you hear some noise in the background, and it goes blank. What did Todd and the people on that plane do that day? Well, what they did, what we found out, is they decided to go against what they had been taught their whole life, because they heard what happened with the other three planes, and they knew this plane's going to be a weapon too. And if I'm going to die, I'm going to die trying to save somebody else. And they attacked the hijackers and took the plane down in a field. And yes, everybody on that plane died that day. It's a horrible, tragic story. But when I think about it, I'm moved by the heroism, because these people said, nobody outside of this plane is going to die on my watch. And I'm going to, if I have to, I will die for them. Because greater love has no one than this, that he would give his life for his friends, right? They didn't know who they were dying for. They just knew that they were dying for somebody who had people that loved them, and they didn't want that to happen, right? Huge. All right, here's another name. You ready? Anthony Borges. You are on fire tonight, Mally. I'm going to tell you, you need candy just for that. She's amazing. So Anthony Borges, anybody know that name? So on February 14, I think it was 2018, and I could have the year wrong, and please forgive me if I do, but it was definitely on Valentine's Day. February 14th, not too long ago, there was the shooting at Parkland High School. And a former student came in and shot and killed a lot of folks. It was really, really bad. Anthony was 15 years old. And Anthony knew that this guy was coming. He could hear him coming. So what he did is he got up and he barricaded the door so the shooter couldn't get in the door, while 20 other students hunkered down behind him. He was shot 5 times at 15 years old, tore up his legs, lost part of a lung. He currently lives with a permanent colostomy. Does anybody know what a colostomy is? That's where you poop out of your abdomen instead of out of your hiney into a bag. You have a bag, and the poop comes out there. I know, right? But he did. 15 years old. Tell me, who in here is 15? Raise your hand. Would you like to have a poop bag? Okay, right? And I know I'm being a little bit gross. I'm a nurse, so it doesn't really gross me out, but sorry if you get grossed out easy. So, but he has that. In other words, what he did is he said, I've got 20 people in here. Now, one of those 20 may have been somebody that made fun of him yesterday. Who knows? He doesn't say. He doesn't talk about that. What he knew was I have 20 lives in here. They're not getting through this door. And guess what happened? The shooter didn't get through the door. He lived, but he's living with scars now because of that heroic act. Because you see, greater love has no one than this, and that's to give his life for his friends, right? Huge statement. So now you're probably thinking what I think. Do I have to die for somebody? For them to know that I love them? Well, no. I pray that you never get put in that situation. However, every day you have opportunity to lay your life down for your friends. Every single day you have the chance to do that. And does anybody know how you would do that? Put them before yourself. Think about their feelings. Think about their needs. I acted like a daggum idiot for Lily. I looked like a dummy. Go on, show them your muscles, show them your muscles. How old am I? I'm not 12. But you know what? What mattered to me more was that Lily was able to be part of the team and to be recognized as part of the team, as opposed to her being ostracized by the mean girls, mean women, mean old women, Karens. Yes, them people. I would much rather sacrifice my dignity, so to speak, and they can think I'm a dork, and quite frankly, I don't care. So I'm going to act like an idiot and save Lily, because Lily matters, right? And so the question that I want you to start thinking about is, where can I lay my life down for my friends? And more importantly, who are my friends? Lily and I don't talk. Not because we hate each other. We just don't have a common relationship. Like if I saw her in Walmart, I'd be like, how you doing, Lily? Oh, your kids are cute. You know, that kind of thing. But beyond acquaintance type relationship and the kindnesses that come with that, we don't hang out. Our kids don't have play dates. She don't come to my house and I don't go to hers. None of that kind of stuff. So why would I call Lily my friend in reference to this? Who's my friend? Yeah, but who's your friend? I would venture to say even your enemies are your friends when it comes to putting others before yourself. Once again, Todd Beamer had no idea. There could have been a murderer that he saved that day. Anthony Borges could have stood in the doorway and got shot for the meanest mean girl who is now the meanest Karen you'd ever want to meet. But it was still perfect love, because what they said was, right now, these are my friends, and I'm not going to let them be harmed. And every day you have that opportunity to stand up for somebody. Don't make fun of him because he's shorter than you. Don't make fun of her because she talks with a lisp. Don't make fun of the scar on their face. You don't know where that came from. Don't talk about him because he's huge. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I had a friend, y'all, way off subject, speaking of huge people. So in high school, we had a guy, his name was Jeremy, and he weighed somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 pounds as a teenager. He was a big guy, real big guy. But what was so cute was his voice was like Mike Tyson's. So big old Jeremy would come down the hallway, he'd be like, hey guys, how you doing, right? You know, and everybody loved Jeremy. And what I loved was how accepted he was. Nobody made fun of Jeremy. And he was, unfortunately, at a size where in high school, you could get made fun of, right? I mean, kids, not all kids are nice. They're not all you, right? So what we need to do is embrace the Jeremys of this world, the ones that are different, the people who may not look like, smell like, act like us. Because when we embrace them and we put them before us, then we are the perfect love that casts out all fear, right? One day I was on the elevator at the hospital, and I try to make a point to talk to people when I get on the elevator. So I am that weird person that makes you uncomfortable. And I do it because I'm wearing the uniform of the hospital, and when I get on and there's a visitor, I know they're already uncomfortable because who etches in their calendar to go to the hospital? Oh, okay, well, you're weird too. And I've got a job for you. But in all honesty, you know that people aren't there because they want to be there. So I try to be nice to them. So I get on the elevator one day. Some chick gets on, and she's got this Frappuccino, and the whipped cream's like coming out the top. I mean, whoever made that did her good. And so it was just a pretty, pretty Frappuccino. And I was like, oh, man, that looks really good. And big old tears come up in her eyes, and she goes, yeah, it's the first thing I've had to eat or drink in 24 hours. They're taking my grandmother off the ventilator right now. And I'm like, oh, whew, that's heavy-revy, right? But in that moment, I got the opportunity to minister to her. It was a short elevator ride. But I got to say, I'm sorry, and we're here for you. And I know, where is your grandmother? Oh, on that floor. I know those nurses. They're really good nurses. And, please know that we as a staff are here for you, right? I don't know her, but my heart broke for her. And in that moment, her feelings were more important than my feelings. And if she had needed to talk more, I would have ridden all the way to her floor with her and walked down the hall with her. Because you see, sometimes showing perfect love means being inconvenienced. As a matter of fact, if you read through and you look at a lot of Jesus' miracles, do you know when they happened? When he was interrupted. Jesus was walking to raise a girl from the dead, and the woman with the issue of blood came behind him and touched the hem of his garment, and she was healed, and he had to stop, right? On and on it goes. There's just one interruption after another interruption. Jesus went to get water, and there's the woman at the well. Now, he knew she was going to be there, but obviously he wasn't there. It looked as if he was going there to get water and do something for him, but really what he was there for was to minister to her. Why are you at school every day? You're at school every day because there is something inside of you that God has created you to do. And there are people that you touch that nobody else does. There are people that look at you every day. You may not even know who they are, but they watch you because they know you've said at some point, I'm a Christian. And they're watching you. And you have opportunity with every step you take and every word you speak to speak life into them, to put them before you. So I want to challenge you to do that, to understand that perfect love casts out all fear, and that perfect love includes putting people before yourself. So this series is dealt with being gripped with fear, right? What are some of the fears that we've talked about? No, that's not a fear. If you're afraid of love, let's talk later, okay? What's a fear? Fear of failure. Anybody afraid of failing? We are going to talk later. Okay, so fear of failure. I hate to fail. I hate it. I hate. It makes me angry. But then when I do fail, I don't want to try again. Now, I'm being very honest with you guys. It all started. Can I sit down on my counselor couch for a second? It all started in the second grade when I decided I wanted to be in a beauty pageant. And I'm not going to lie, I was a cute kid. I really was. I'm not trying to brag. I just was. I was a cute little kid. I was just adorable. And my dad and my mom, of course, because they were a little bit biased, they thought I was the cutest kid on the planet. So I had that kind of confidence. I'm the cutest kid on the planet. So I'm going to tell you, I am going to sweep this thing. I'm going to walk on that stage there and go, nobody else needs to come out here because look at her. Here's all the trophies. Everybody go home and eat. So I get out there, and not only did I lose that pageant, like didn't even place, but the girl that won, the tiara and the roses and the pictures and the paper, had nothing but silver teeth across the front of her. Silver teeth. I don't know about you, but I have never seen a beauty pageant won before or after by somebody with silver teeth. And so I was very upset. So guess what I never, ever did again? I never, ever entered into a beauty pageant again. Not because I didn't think I was cute, and gosh, that sounds so arrogant, but I was an adorable little kid. But because I had zero confidence that anybody else did. And so you see, it's important that we understand that there are fears that we have that we can be gripped by, and they can change our choices and our thinking and our mindset and the places that we go and the people that we hang out with and the things we believe we can and can't do and where we go and why we go and all of those things. And so we don't want to be gripped by that, and that's what we've been talking about. So let's look at 1 John 4:11 through 12 and verse 18. It says this: Dear friends, if God loved us that much, how much did he love us? Yeah, that much. Well, what is that much? Burning up the charts today, Mally. Enough to give his son for us. Now, I love y'all very, very much, but I have 2 sons and a daughter, and I would not kill them for you, nor would I let them die for you if I could stop them. I know, it is. I'm just being honest. Today is honesty day, right? Because I love my kids that much, right? But here's the thing. God loved us so much that not only did he let him, he sent him to do it. He said, hey, Kirsten, love you a lot. Need you to go hang on a cross real quick, right? Wow. So if he loved us that much, then we should at least love each other, right? No one has ever seen God. Has anybody in here ever physically seen God? You've seen images that people think that he looks like, but nobody's seen God. However, if we love each other, God lives in us, and his love is made perfect in us. We become the walking image of God. When Pastor Joey and I got married, I had a friend, it was my friend from junior high school, and she and another girl, the 3 of us, we called ourselves the 3 Musketeers, and we were like this. And life had separated us. We had ended up going to different schools in high school, and we stayed connected, but not as deeply connected as we were in junior high. But she came to my wedding, and after my wedding, she came up to me, hugged me, and was crying. And that weekend, she gave her heart to Christ. And it really touched me because I'm like, wow, because of my wedding. But the reality was, in that moment, she saw the living representation of God in me and my friends and family. In that moment, we were God to her. Not that we were God. So y'all following me, right? The God in us was what she could see. So where God's love is, there is no fear, because God's perfect love drives out fear. Let me put it this way, real simple. Anybody ever heard of the phrase, like a cockroach when the lights come on, right? What happens if there's a room full of cockroaches and the lights come on? Whew. Yeah, me too. I'm with you on that. I scream too. But they scatter. They hate light. They like the dark. Well, you see, when God's love is here, his perfect love drives fear out like a little cockroach. And when you start thinking about the fears you have as little cockroaches that can be driven out by God's love, they become far more manageable, right? So here's something I want us to do real quick. I want you to shout out a fear in your life. One at a time, somebody give me a fear. Spiders. Guess who's bigger than spiders? God. God is bigger than spiders. Give me another fear. Rejection. Guess who's bigger than rejection? God is bigger than rejection. What's another fear? My brother. Guess who's bigger than your brother? God is bigger than your brother. You got another one? God is bigger than your dad. I can't hear you. What? Face planting. Yes. And God is bigger than a face plant. Not being good enough. God is bigger than your fear of not being good enough. Anybody else got a fear? God is bigger than the highest height, Mount Everest. Well, then don't climb Mount Everest. That would be my Everest. Don't climb Mount Everest or Everest, either one. Yes, Everest is over here, and Everest is the big one. So don't climb either one of them. In other words, every time you get gripped with a fear, you have to take a deep breath and say, God is bigger than that. And you can find confidence in that. I'm going to share with you one more story, and then we're going to get into the last part of the movie that we've been watching, series that we've been watching, the little mini series. And I want y'all to look in this particular one and see if Brandon's in it. Plot twist. Spoiler alert. But no, when I was a little kid, I was extraordinarily shy and timid. And I would talk a lot, but only to people that knew me, which were my mom and dad. And but I really, really wanted to be a cheerleader, and I've shared this before. And so to try out for cheerleader, junior high or high school cheerleader at my school, you had one of the things you had to do was try out in front of the entire 7th through 12th grade. And that was 25% of your score came from that vote. How fun is that, right? So at the ripe old age of 13, I have to now all of a sudden do a cheer by myself in front of every 7th through 12th grader and let them judge me. That doesn't make any 13-year-old uncomfortable, right? And so I'm super shy, super scared, super not confident, and I have to do it, though, because I really want to do it. And so I had my friend take my dad's aviator glasses, and I said, listen, I need you to sit on the top row of the bleachers, in the middle, like right where I'm going to be, and when I come out, I need you to hold those glasses up, and I'm going to watch them. And I'm going to think about, that's the only person in the room right now, my dad, because I didn't mind cheering in front of my dad, because remember, I told you earlier, Daddy thought I was perfect. So she held him up, and I did it, and I made the team, because I found the spot where perfect love was, and that cast out the fear that I had. It became bigger. It wasn't that I wasn't afraid. Please understand, perfect love, casting out fear, has nothing to do with not having fear. It has everything to do with not being gripped by it. So anytime you're in the middle of fear and you can feel it begin to grip you, make sure that you look to the Father that sees what's good in you, that sees who He made you to be, that knows who you really are. He doesn't care what all these other people think, say, or whatever. What He cares about is who you are. And if you'll look straight to Him and ignore the rest, you'll find the confidence to walk in who you are and who God has called you to be. So who's ready to see what happens? I am so ready to see what happens. We're going to watch the last final episode of the series of Gripped and find out what happens to poor Shelby. Let's go.
I got a thought. I mean, it's two of them, it's two of us. Let's clean this place out.
Leave me alone.
Kate, Lord!
If we make it to the highway and reach the police station, we'll be okay.
I know it's a joke. Go ahead and take off the mask. I'm gonna set a trap.
Have a good time.
Whoa. Wait, what are you talking about, white mask?
I don't know where I'm going. I don't even know how I got here. I can't remember yesterday, and I hope that tomorrow brings something new. I'm the girl you used to smile at, and now I'm just the girl that you ignore. How do you do that? How do you go from liking me one moment to acting like I don't even exist? All I know is that I love you. What do you think?
I don't buy it. I feel like you're just reading off the paper. Look, I don't even think you know what love is.
And you do.
Yeah. Okay. Love is like, it's kind of a contradiction. It's like when you care about someone so much, it makes you vulnerable. But I think that when you can be that vulnerable and not care, then you're confident. Here. How do you just do that? How do you go from liking me one moment to acting like I don't even exist? All I know is I love you. This night just keeps getting worse.
At this point, we're calling the cops.
I killed Shelby!
This is not good, guys. What do we do?
Game
over! Game over!
Guys, chill! Okay, I need to think. Man, thinking is gonna get us killed.
Well, what's your idea?
We gotta get out these woods.
Shelby? I think I saw Shelby.
Shelby's gone. We have to stick to the plan.
There is no plan. God, we're running around like chickens with our heads cut off.
Well, what's your big plan? Exactly. Fine. Go ahead inside then. Brian. What? Nice. Check this out.
It's just a BB gun.
Well, they don't know that. What was that?
Man, it was just supposed to be a practical joke.
Yeah, well, it's spinning out of control.
Man, what was that?
It's a chainsaw, genius.
Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna retrace our steps. We'll go right, you guys go left.
No, splitting up is a bad idea.
Well, what do you propose?
Okay, we'll meet back here in an hour. If we don't find Shelby, we move out.
Sounds like a plan. I'll catch up.
I'll wait for you.
Hey, we're heading out. Make sure you keep the door locked.
I'm not a child, Austin. I know what to do. What?
I try to understand you, Kate. You know what? Never mind.
All I am is a reject. I try to make friends, but I know Kate just looks down on me. She just thinks of herself. Oh, Shelby.
Oh, man, she drives me crazy.
You need to treat her better, man.
I don't need lessons on how to treat a woman from you.
A blind man can see she's pulling away from you. She needs you, and you're too selfish to even notice.
You can't even say hi to a girl.
Shelby, can you hear us?
Shelby! Night keeps getting better and better. That was Kate. Let's go. You have to go through me first.
You guys aren't alone.
Run, Kate.
No. Is Shelby okay?
What are you doing? We have to stay together.
No. I'm the one who betrayed Shelby. Take me instead.
Are you crazy? Had you fooled. Guess I'm not so stuffy.
You almost made me pee my pants.
It was you. This entire time. Well, you said I needed to come out of my shell.
How'd you pull it off?
Well, I was really mad at you guys, so I ran into the woods, and that's when things got a little crazy. Well, I just wanted to be alone, but then the crazy masked man started to chase me. And I thought I was dead.
No one can hear you. Nobody wants you. You're all alone.
Gotcha!
Oh my gosh, that was so not cool!
What? We do this every year. We actually wanted to get Austin.
Yeah, kind of a last night prank. Sorry, Shelby.
I'm not sorry.
Oh my gosh. What happened?
Oh, just an accident, apparently. Ryan's scared of clowns.
Good to know.
That is good to know.
All right, well, head back to camp. We're going to put one last fright into your friends.
That was gonna be good.
I was tired of being the butt of every joke, so I decided to do one last scare. So I thought I would show you what I could truly be.
Shelby, I really am sorry.
I know.
Okay, so who's up for actually leaving this place?
I say that sounds like a perfect idea.
Man, I knew it was you the whole time.
Thought I did.
Right. Shelby, I have to say, I seriously underestimated you.
I mean, I'm a rock star. No, that was actually rather freeing.
What?
Just being out in the woods and giving everything up and not being scared.
Wonderful. You spread that fear to all of us.
Hey, sorry for taking you for granted.
It's okay.
Almost losing you made me realize how much I didn't respect you.
Hi.
Hey.
I'm really sorry for punching you.
Well, I'm really sorry you had a crummy birthday.
No, it was actually pretty memorable. That the craze is over. What do you say? Take you out on a real date.
I think I would like that.
Shelby, I got one more question. I mean, you scared the living daylights out of us. How'd you make that chainsaw noise?
I never used a chainsaw.
That's a big no on my end. So who liked the finale? A few people, just a few people? Okay. Well, if y'all liked that, then we'll see if we can do something like that in the future. Would y'all like if we did another something like that? Yeah. A few people? Okay. Same few people. Okay. Y'all are my favorites still. Does everybody have their little square still? Make sure you don't leave without it because it's got important info on it. Now, does everybody see this gigundous bag of candy? Who wants this gigundous bag of candy? Now, I'm going to draw a ticket. And most of you know how this goes. I'm going to say the number. You're going to say the number after me until we finish all the numbers. So everybody pull out your ticket. Well, you better find it quick because I'm about to call out a number. Everybody got it? I'm mixing. Okay. Not looking? Got one. Everybody said 8. 4. 6. 3. 1. 0. Carly? Oh, Lord, she don't need no more candy. Come on, Carly. Everybody give Carly a round of applause. All she had to do was show up and she got a bag of candy. How awesome is that? It's literally the bare minimum and you get to do it. So I hope y'all all enjoyed the night. Before y'all go, I want to make a few quick reminders. We've got the fast worship feast coming up. Be thinking about a fast. Of course, I'm not going to force you and I'm not going to necessarily hold you accountable unless you want me to. But like I said before, it's a great opportunity to make room for Christ and to just see the immeasurably more that he can do in your life and give him that opportunity. So if you can, production, can you pull up my challenge slide? Because I have a challenge for you guys for this week. For the last week of Grit, your challenge is to put someone else before yourself. Pastor Mel talked all about how the greatest love is when you lay down your life for your friend. And please do not go and get yourself killed. I don't want you to get in that situation, and I'd prefer if none of you died. So keep that in mind. But it says when you lay down your life for a friend, meaning it can be as simple as any sacrifice. Maybe it's sacrificing a little bit of your spending money to get your friend breakfast because you know they had a bad day, or just because you want to show them that you love them. Maybe it's going out of your way if you can drive and driving them home or driving them somewhere because you know they can't yet. Or maybe they just, I don't know, maybe their mom won't let them do it, you know. You never know, but
this week, put someone else before yourself. It's really simple, and it can be just about anything, but it's a great way to apply the perfect love that we talked about into our weeks and into what we do. It's a great way to show other people what God does in our lives and what God can do for them.